Today I'm going to bypass the cam position sensor on my 99 Dyna Super Glide. The sensor is right behind this little cover here, and it was on the 99 and 2000 models only. As Harley Davidson did away with the sensor 2001, as it was causing a lot of problems, it was prone to fail, melting and all that stuff. You can easily bypass this on a carb model. The other reason why you might want to do this is because you might be doing some upgrades on your motor, like myself. Got myself Screaming Eagle hydraulic tensioner upgrade kit. And unless you bypass the sensor, you're not going to be able to use the primary cam chain assembly providing the kit, the newer style roller chain and with the sprockets, because your original sprocket has an erased ribbon as part of the sensor. So you have to retain it unless you've bypassed the sensor. There's another way though, is buying an aftermarket newer style sprocket from Fueling or Andrews that will have the raised ribbon. But it costs roughly around $100. I think it's Fueling 1094, that's the part number. $100, I thought I might as well just get a newer ignition module for the kind of money, like this one, which will eliminate the problem once and for all. And I can use the entire kit. So you need to get an ignition module from, if you're going for the factory, 2001 to 2003. Part number will be 3247899B or A or C. All three will work. So we're going to remove the cam position sensor wires from the connector here, swap out the module, and good to go. Let's get to it. First thing we want to do is taking the seat off and removing the negative battery cable right here. And we'll get under the bike and dip in the connector. Best to remove this clamp first, just to make the work a little bit easier. It's a T20 Torx. Get some slack. And then the connector is held in by a small plastic screw in the crankcase. You can just pull it out like that. A bit more room to grab the tabs on the sides and then pull the connector apart. So those tabs are down here. You get the pins. You get a tab in there that you need to pull out. Comes right out. And we need to look for 3 wires coming down from the cam position sensor. So by the manual, it's supposed to be green, white, black, white, and red, white. You can easily verify that if you just slide the sleeve up a little bit and look for the 3-wire cable, which is this one. The other cable has 1 wire. That's the oil pressure switch right here. And this cable has 2 wires. That's coming from the crank sensor, crank position sensor. So we got the 3-wire cable. We just need to remove the pins, get a screwdriver and get underneath the pin and get it out of its seat, and then pull it out. There we go, one out. And this one. All 3 wires are out. I'm going to put insulation tape over them and tuck them away and tidy everything up. Just push the connector back in place. Don't forget to put the little tab back into place. Like that. All right, everything is tidied up. You could actually run the bike like this, just removing those 3 wires and without swapping out the ECU, but you would have the engine light on constantly and the engine would be running in wasted spark mode. So it would fire on both, on the compression stroke and the exhaust stroke, which is not ideal. So we're gonna do this job right, go to the other side of the bike and swap out the ignition module. We're gonna take the electrical panel cover off. I already cracked the bolts loose. We don't need to take the outer panel off separately, just as a whole unit, the outer and the inner electrical panel. So first, we just need to take off the nut at the back. I'm just gonna move the camera here. This nut right here. So we need to take that off. It's a 1/2-inch wrench. Next we have this little bolt right here. And that's just a 3/8 socket. We're gonna move over here to the ignition coil. Need to take that off. That's two bolts. .3/16 hex. Just rest it over here. We got 2 nuts behind this little bracket, so we need to remove the nuts. 7/16 wrench. Get a rag and just rest it over here. It seems to come off. There's a bolt here where the nut was. So remove this bracket and you got access to the ignition module. That's just 2 small bolts, 5/16. There we go. And now we got a little more room to disconnect the connectors. Just press in the tabs. And of course, it's stuck. All right, got the module off. It wasn't that big of a deal really, just needed a bit of WD-40 to loosen up the connectors. So we got the other ignition module here. Of course, you don't need to stick with the factory one. You can get an aftermarket ECU that reads the crank position sensor only. But it was just easy to go for one of these, 2001 to 2003. This is the, like I showed you before, part number A, B, or C. So we're just going to install this. And put everything back together. Alright, everything back together. We just need to reconnect the negative battery cable and we'll fire it up.